This book just proves that Avatar Korok is absolutely the worst Avatar there is. Welcome to the review of the young adult novel, Rise of Kyoshi. And this book has been my constant companion since Wednesday. I have carried it everywhere with me. Felt very nerdy and geeky, kind of proudful about it. And there won't be any major spoilers in this review. This book is written by LCE with Avatar co-creator Michael Dante DiMartino. Since this book was announced, I have just been greatly anticipating it, getting so excited to learn more about Avatar Kyoshi, who is one of the most BA avatars there is, probably the most BA avatar there is, and just learn more about her past, and this book absolutely did that. This review is going to cover the story, the action, the emotion, the world building, and also just the lasting impressions that left on me as an Avatar fan. Let's start off with story. This is the absolute origin of Avatar Kyoshi. I mean, how does this just world-renowned, fearful Avatar grow up? Where did she begin? Who was she? This book covers the time period of Kyoshi when she was 16. She was an orphan. She was really an outsider left in the Yokoho village, which I do believe will eventually become Kyoshi Island. But she's such an outsider. She only has a few friends to her name that really kind of help her out and there for her. And she is a servant in the house mansion of the Avatar. Yes, and that's interesting because everyone thinks that the Avatar is someone else. And the mansion was ran by Jianju, who was a great friend of Avatar Korok, the Avatar before Kyoshi. She's also mentored by Kelsang, the airbender, who was a friend of Avatar Korok, and also Hiran, who was another friend and slight love interest of Avatar Korok. But since Korok's death at a very young age, 33, there seems to be so much weight, not only on his friends, but on the whole world. Like, he wasn't a good Avatar to begin with. When the world doesn't have their Avatar, the world tends to crumble. So they feel a lot of pressure to not only find the next Avatar, but train them and train them right to correct the mistakes they made with Avatar Korok, because they were also his bending masters. Kyoshi really only has two friends in this world. There is Hiran, a young firebending girl who is very good friends with Avatar Kyoshi, and also Avatar Yoon, who is also really good friends with Avatar Kyoshi. And it's really interesting to see how their relationships develop and really see where they go. One of the best things about the story is just seeing Kyoshi's mindset, seeing where she came from. She actually started off really weak and she wasn't a good bender at all. She was terrible at it. Not only was she terrible physically, but mentally, she was not, all there. She didn't have a good foundation in her life, and how she deals with being left behind by her parents and being an orphan, and how she grew up in a village where everyone hated her and she was just an outcast of just how tall she was. She stood out like a sore thumb. The character relationships they write in here are incredible, honestly. They are so good. Her relationship with the monk Kelsang is done wonderfully. Her relationship with her two friends, the writing there, I think is so good. And one of the things I loved about this story is that the antagonists are so interesting. We've never had an antagonist like this in Avatar Last Airbender or Legend of Korra. It just puts a new spin on it. You don't root for these villains at all, similar to the Last Airbender, but also you understand where they're coming from, like in Legend of Korra villains. You understand that this antagonist has a plan, they have an idea, they have a goal, and they are dead set on doing this. And no matter the cost, which comes in conflict with Kyoshi. Oh no, I absolutely love the story here. I was just so enthralled into this story. I think there was only a little bit where it kind of slowed down, but it quickly picked back up. And Avatar Kyoshi, she has one of the best stories of any Avatar. Let's move on to emotion. There was so much great emotional scenes in this book. I say scenes because they played out in my mind so vividly, like scenes from the animated series. Kyoshi has to deal with so many losses, and you really feel them because she doesn't have that many things tying her down to the world. And sometimes she can lose sight of that. When one of her loved ones, something might happen to them, she becomes just red with vengeance. But despite her losses, she has some absolute moments of triumph. I mean, we see Kyoshi at her most vulnerable in so many good different ways. We see her weak, inside, and we also see her open up to other people. It's just such beautiful, beautiful moments. This is one of the more emotional YA novels I've read. I mean, I've read Hunger Games, I've read Divergent, and I don't know if it's because I connect with Avatar Kyoshi, just because I've been a huge fan of Avatar forever, but there's something about her story that just really resonated with me. Moving on to action, I think LCE did a great job depicting the action. He really did just a good job of just painting a very vivid picture for you. I did have to read it a little bit slowly and kind of act them out a little bit with my hands and making the similar gestures, but there are some scenes that are just absolutely epic, just as epic as in the series. I mean, there's a scene where Kyoshi just goes ham on some people, and I read it with such excitement. Next on the world building. I think one of the best tools that he used was the audience's familiarity with the Avatar series. He did that to paint a couple different pictures, really describe people, really describe the setting. We know that Yokohama Village takes place at Kyoshi Island, so we know that setting. He speaks of Kelsang coming from the Southern Air Temple, so we have that connection there. One of Kyoshi's mentors, Jianju, is a member of the Ganji tribe, and we know from the Ganji tribe and the absolute fantastic episode, The Great Divide, that absolutely everybody loves and nobody hates, that they're all very clean and white robes, and so it's very easy to imagine him. They also introduced the Beifongs in here, which that's not a big spoiler, but they're just introducing the Beifongs and the politics in the Earth Kingdom, and there is absolutely so many politics going on that wasn't really touched on in the Avatar: Last Airbender, or really even the Legend of Korra. Like, when the world goes without an Avatar for so long, things happen. When the last Avatar was an idiot, people expect the next one to be a little bit different. Also, I loved how many times they just reference Yang Chen. Like, oftentimes the character, saying something similar to like, oh my God, they would say, oh my Yang Chen. Like, that's just how revered Yang Chen was, and that's why she's ranked #1 on me and Sean's list of the best avatars. On to my lasting impressions of the book. This book, like I said, I carried around with me day to day. I absolutely loved reading it, and I absolutely want more. I can't wait for the next book. It comes out in 2020. I can't wait to see what they have in store for us. Also, I want more. I want this to be an animated film, or I want it to be a live action version on Netflix. I mean, I think all it needs is just 2 hours, and then they can get through a lot of material there. This book was so good, and it was such a great opportunity to get to learn more about Avatar Kyoshi, that Avatar Kyoshi jumped from my #4 on my list of favorite avatars to #2, only behind Avatar Korra. So if you are an Avatar: Last Airbender fan or Legend of Korra fan, and you're thinking about picking this book up, absolutely do it. You will not regret it. I think you can get it off of Amazon right now for like $13. I got it from Barnes & Noble, bought it online. I even got like a 20% discount. Came to like $11.60, and I picked it up in like an hour. The Barnes & Noble edition is a special edition. It comes with a few additional pictures of different versions of the cover, and also a map of the Avatar world and the important places. All right, if you read this book, let me know what you think about it. I have been so excited for it and excited to discuss more of it. I do have more videos planned in the future, so look out for those. And if you like this video, please like, comment, and consider subscribing. And sincerely, thank you for watching. I'm out.